The ICF Canoe Sprint World Championships are brought to you by the Province of Ontario, the Government of Canada, and Tourism Niagara.
And our next race on the line, Tom, is going to be heat number 2 of the women's K4 500-meter event. Lane number 3 is the crew from Poland, Bruska, Jasinska, Wolczyk, and Gorna. Lane 4 from Australia, Peters, Higgins, Howcroft, and MacArthur. Belarus is Grishna, Salkalova, Paskevich, and Karnevets in lane 5. And the Swedish crew in lane number 6, closest to the bottom of your screen, Stencils, Wickberg, and Anderson. They have dominated the women's K4 historically. I'm interested to see what Sweden's brought, but Belarus has got to be a favorite.
Yeah,
and they help to make the race fair for everyone, the same start line.
Yeah, they really are great for the start. They take a little worry out of it. Back when I started paddling, it was a bit of a game at the start line, and it made the starters work quite a bit harder than they have to now. But they do cause some problems. We saw that Polish crew having to do some draw strokes. That's where you put the paddle out to the right or left side of the boat and pull the boat over. That's because you want it as straight as possible. You don't want to have a boat as long as a K4 angled off to one side at the start, because that means you have to correct it, which slows it down. Every time you have to touch that rudder, every time you have to center the boat, you're slowing it down. You want to keep the momentum moving straight and forward for as long as possible in a race. That's why a crosswind can be difficult, even for kayaks.
Keep your eye on the bottom of the screen. We've got the Swedish crew of Lena Stencils, Julia Stencils, Clara Anderson, and Moy Wickberg. And here we have a start, Tom, to the second heat of the women's K4 500-meter event. And to no one's surprise, the Swedish crew in lane number 6 at the bottom of your screen is off to a flying start.
Yeah, it's a great start for the Swedes. Look at that. Nice high rate. They look very in control. You can almost see a pause. They're going over 100 strokes a minute easily, but there's almost a pause between strokes, which is what you want to see. It means they're in control. They are now leading the field out above the second place at the European Championships Polish crew up in lane 3. Here in the middle, the Belarusian crew finished 4th at the Europeans. They are going to be strong as well. All these crews are good. When you only have 10 crews in a race, you know that they're all going to be strong.
Well, we've got 4 strong entries in here, and one of them, the first 3 will advance directly to the finals. Bearing in mind Team Canada's time in the last race, it's going to be interesting to see how the winners shape up here. But you can see at the top of your screen in the white jerseys, Poland is in second spot to the Swedes, who have the yellow jerseys and the white boat. But we've got about 200 meters left to go.
Yeah, with 150 left, the Swedes are out in front, which is not a total surprise, but I expected a little bit more from the Polish crew sitting in second. We'll see if anything changes as they hit the red buoys. We have 100 meters left. Very strong race by the Swedes. They're going to lead this if they can win from start to finish, which is not an easy feat. Women's K4 500 meters is an incredibly difficult race, but the Poles have come up a little bit. It's a little closer now with about 30 meters to go. It's very tight. It looks like the Polish might actually be taking the win. The Swedes are fighting. It is too close to call for first, but second safely is the Hungarians, or excuse me, the Belarusian crew, and the Australians are 4th. And here are results from the Heat 2 of the junior women's, the under 23 women's K4 500 meters. Sweden with a 135.8. Just overlook at that. We're 100th of a second ahead of the Polish crew. That is very close. Belarus about 2 seconds back, and Australia about 3 seconds back. They'll be satisfied with that. If they have a little more in the tank, that'll be great. The other heat was just a touch faster at 133. But this shows that the Swedish crew can be in there with the best.